and then we will go. All right, guys, so exciting. I'm excited. I was thinking about this. We're on call number 9. So that means this is, including this one, we only have 4 more calls. You guys have done this before with me. We would go through 6 weeks. So we're already on call 9. You guys have made it. We have not dropped that many of you. So I think that's really exciting that you guys have stuck through this as far and as long as you had. I know that some of you have had some bumps in the road, and we've had to, you know, just sort of like regroup and but again, that 60 to 90 days, this is the month, and it's amazing that we have this whole $39 kit as well, but this is the month that the culmination of everything is just sort of, you know, I see your guys' show schedules are up, like things are starting to happen. And this is the month for that to happen. So I am wicked excited about how things are going. I hope you guys are too. So let's get going here. We've got a pretty basic, sort of go back to the basics kind of program thing that we're going to be talking about today, but it's still really important. So we're at 4 more calls. We've been doing these new habits. I cannot stress enough that you make sure you keep doing this. Like, and I'm hoping that you are doing them long enough that, remember, the 21 days, it becomes a habit, that if you've been doing them long enough that they would continue, you know, to have your dream board. I have to say, Shannon, I was looking over her shoulder yesterday, she had her little computer going in the thing, and I know on her backdrop is her dream board. So like she did that. So I hope like, you know, you guys have that on your phone, like you're looking at those all the time, you know, and that's, again, part of that miracle morning is not just having it there, but to take a couple minutes every day and just sort of put yourself in those places. Because like Judy said yesterday, like you've got to feel it. Like you got to feel and really feel that picture and that you're there, and that's going to be what's going to make that. Those affirmations, and here's an interesting thought that I'm coming up with because I, and this would be another conversation, but I'm thinking about it because my call, the other group just started. So they've gone through their second call. So we were doing affirmations this week. And it was interesting because and I know that we had a little bit of miscommunication from the beginning of, you know, about making them measurable, making them specific and stuff like that. And I think that it actually is what we were looking for you guys to do was more, not so much an affirmation, but sort of make your goal in words. Because an affirmation and what, like where mine is, truthfully, my biggest thing that I say right now is I am an executive director. That's what mine is, because I feel that that's where I am. Like that's the thing, that making it real, making it present, and then everything I do sort of makes that happen is different than an affirmation. Does that make sense? And I think that I had you guys actually do that. You guys actually, I worked at least your business affirmations. I sort of made you work it into I booked shows a month, or, you know, whatever that specifically was. But I'm just sort of talking out loud because I'm thinking about how I need to address it on my next call too. So just sort of something to think about too. But I hope you guys are saying those. You know, I told you mine is I'm an executive director. Mine is I earned, you know, I earn elite, the elite Disney, like that's on mine. Like all those things are my affirmations that I'm saying twice a day. And you better believe my business, my personal business, everything I do is lining up so that those will happen. And it just sort of is a reminder that way. And then, of course, our Miracle Morning, our other Miracle Morning things that I know that you guys really enjoyed going through, to make sure you keep working on those too. The weekly contacts, you know, this is definitely something that, and I was thinking about just some different, to sort of recap a little bit of where we get those weekly contacts. But I know that that's still something that some of you are still struggling with a little bit. But remember the customer care contacts, Jen Tagle gave us a great chart to track your customer cares, the whole 222. So again, you know, if you had parties, you know, 2 weeks ago, those should be on your thing for this week, because you're checking now to make sure they got their stuff. Or 2 months ago, you know, that would be like January or December, like making sure they're using their stuff, the 2-month one. This was the out and about that I loved. I'm really good at I like having something to say that I can say over and over and over again. This was the Susan Moulton last night, is that once, when I can fix this, once they say, I love Pampered Chef, remember she said, when was the last time you were at a show? And then they'll answer, and she'll say, there are so many new products here. Let me get your information, and I'll start sending you the monthly specials so you can see what it is. And she says, nobody ever says no. You know, and then it's an easy way. Then you've got their message, you know, their information. You can drop something in the mail or message them, and you can start that conversation. I just thought it was a really easy way. Here, let me get your information, and I'll send you the monthly specials. So I don't know about you guys, but that conversation, I feel like, comes really easy. That when we talk about taking those mini catalogs, remember, put 10 of them in your bag today, and make that your goal, you know, part of your goal this week. You have that little conversation right there with 10 people while you're out and about this week. There's 10 of your contacts right there. That's your and then next week when you follow up with them, they go on your contact list again. Like, that can happen, you know, just to sort of keep that in mind as well. And then of course the green dotting and stuff as well. So here's the one thing that I really, really want to make sure that you guys are all focused on, and we're going to talk about this as part of your homework, is that you guys are going to have 6 shows this month. I want everybody to have 6 shows this month. We've had, I don't think anybody but one consultant on my team actually has hit that goal any month the last couple months. But again, I wouldn't expect that. If you were starting, and a lot of you were, with not a whole lot in January, we're moving on that culmination, and this would be the month. So we really want to make that a focus of 6 shows this month, that you hit that one of those goals and don't have to make that your past. Because we've got to have these parties. We've got to have these parties so that you continue to have the new audience and stuff as well. Okay, and then recruiting, I want to make sure that you guys all have, and again, we were giving them out, but again, the Go for No, I know some of you posted it. There is some verbiage, and I know Tori asked me for this verbiage that I had printed on the back of this for the training last night, and I didn't save it on my computer. Remember I told you I printed it off really quick? So I'm going to take a picture of it and then post it. So I would really, you know, so those that weren't there, this would be the great, like Patty and Jen and who else was I just looking at that wasn't there? Grady, that, you know, was talking about, you know, there's one of them is the Out of the Blue. One of them was, you know, I was thinking about you. You already have everything. This would be a great kit for you. But also those that we've talked to in the past. Like, I know we talked about this before and you had some interest. I just had to let you know about this incredible deal. So here's, you know, again, this is your challenge to get through these no's, because, you know, I love that Katrina just put on that, yeah, I got 15 no's, but she also has 3 maybes now. So, haha, too bad, 3 maybes. That's really a reward. So, so I'm really excited for you guys to get that going too. Okay. All right. This is what we're talking about, full service checkout. Here's your thing, and I want you guys to put this in your head. And again, you are going to do this for your virtuals as well as your cooking shows. Every customer you have, you will do a full service checkout. Every customer, you're going to reach out to do a full service checkout. That just has got to be your motto. I will tell you that, I'll tell you a cooking show story. So this was Anna years ago, that I had the little slips, right? The little drawings, which I haven't done those in years, but I used to use those, and I would give them out, and I would have them fill it out. And I would collect them, and I would pull a winner. Then what I would do is when I would go back to do my orders, I would flip through them real quick. And if they said yes or maybe for any of those things, I put them to this side. The rest of them I just clumped together and I put over here. But I would know then when Susie Smith came up, I was going to talk to her about it. Do you think I talked to anybody else there? They put no, no, no. I did their order and just thanked them for their order and let them go. But for any of these, I'll tell you, for example, if I do not ask them, I could ask them about bookings, for example. If I said to them, have you thought of, would you be interested in having your own party? And this was their answer. No, because my kitchen is too small. So again, we talked about these answers too, that no, my kitchen is too small really means, yes, I want to do it, but I got to figure out how to make it happen. So I can then say, I do these in people's family room. I've been doing it in their garage before. Like, it doesn't have to be in a kitchen. You don't have to have this big, beautiful kitchen like Mary does. We can do it wherever. Or, just somebody else, could we do it in their kitchen or something? But again, if I just looked at those little slips and did not actually have this conversation, then the conversation would never happen and they would walk right out. Right? So that's why this has to happen. It's the same with a virtual. You may ask somebody, have you, about being a consultant, were you interested in earning some extra money? And they may say, no, here's one. No, I don't have a computer. Well, we know, and I'll tell you right now, Director Heidi Coffin runs her entire business on her phone. She does not have a computer. Everything gets done. So you can actually, so that needs to be, we've got to know that, and you've got to be able to ask those questions so that we can look and say, because the answers people will have if we just go by a Google form or something else of them just checking and go by that without asking them, the answer is probably not the right one. That they need this more than they know. So here's your full service checkout. Your first question, just to sort of, start the conversation, break the ice a little bit. Did you have fun tonight? Did you enjoy the party? And again, that could be the good virtual one. Did you have so much fun at this party? I'm so glad you were here. How did you like it? That kind of thing. That is going to be the first one. So you get a good, start sort of the little rapport, okay? There's your first question. Second question. We are going to, if you listen to the bonus training, this is the question instead of the, where have you thought about being a consultant before? Have you thought about doing what I do? But it's actually, were you interested in making some extra money or adding some fun to your life? Something along those lines. That's the question. And the reason is that we're going to ask about the business opportunity before we ask for a booking is because the business opportunity is a bigger commitment than having a party. So if we ask about hosting a party first and they say no, then they're probably not really likely to say yes about the business opportunity. So this is the question that they're going to ask. Now, here's a key part of this, and this is going to be that follow-up and just sort of taking control about this. If the customer says, oh, no, I'm not interested, that we could say, I appreciate your honesty. You know what? I ask everybody, I make sure, is that a no, not now, or a no, not ever? And that should be something we follow up with all of our bookings and recruiting. Is it a no, not now, or is it a no, not ever? And if it's a no, not now, ask permission to follow up later. And when would be a good time to do that? Because then they're going to go into your lead. If they say no, not ever, never into it, no, I just could never, it's not for me. You appreciate that. Thank you so much. And, and I, again, I love it. And and I always tell them, I'm going to ask you every time I see you, just in case things change, because things have changed. That does not mean too that if you see them at a party or they're on a party right now and they're on a party or you see them in 2 weeks, you still ask them. Because I could think we could go through and everybody could raise their hand of who was asked more than once before they actually said yes. Because I think that that's definitely a very real thing too. Okay, so first question is this. Third question, and this is an interesting way to do this too, not a, would you like to host a party, but we want to ask, again, choice questions. You see how maybe we're just going to assume that she is going or he is going to say yes. So instead of saying, would you like to host a party, which one of the host specials did you like more? Did you like the March Rock Frocks or the April Cookware? Go right in. Or which theme party you think, you know, that we talked about that you think your friends would like the most, like a Mexican and margaritas or like a wine, cheese, and chocolate. You're really sort of assuming that she's going to host a party, and you actually get her then to think about the when and the what type instead of if she wants to host. You see? So you can sort of put that as a little bit more. And again, if she says no, you know, and if it's an in-home, you could, you know, we've done that before. We sort of do, you know, you can offer an online or a virtual party or a catalog show, but just a different way to ask that. Again, that's going to be the third. And we're going to make sure, remember, key to this full service checkout is that we're going to ask everybody. Everybody's getting these questions, okay? And then the fourth question is, would you like to receive my email newsletters with specials and recipes? And, you know, you want to end with a question like this because it's more than likely they're going to say yes. And it's really nice to finish and end on a conversation like this on a yes too. So they'll usually end up saying yes. And then again, then you've got them in your computer system. They're going to get those messages every month from you and sort of stay in the loop when those specials and stuff come up. Okay, any questions about full service checkout? Again, it's pretty basic, it's pretty good, but it's again a fundamental that it's something that you just sort of need to commit to, that you know, you're just going to be, we're just going to be every customer, and make this work for your virtuals as well. Okay, so let's talk about this week's homework. Okay, guys.
Anna,
so we're gonna what?
Anna, darling, it's Shannon.
Yes. Hi, Shannon.
Can you just talk a little about how you do that with virtuals? Because that's what I'm struggling with. I'm good at in-home.
Mm-hmm.
Like I just had somebody who placed a $200 order today.
Yes,
yes. And I thanked her, but I didn't know how to go about full service checkout with her.
Yeah, that's a great. So what I have started doing, and I would love to hear what but again, I'm trying to come down with a system for myself. Because what I was doing was that I was watching when their order came through on email and then texting them. And it's hard because I want to do customer care for the sake of doing customer care, but my customer care with my virtuals was being crossed over with getting them and asking them about a party too. And I didn't want that. So what I've started doing is daily, when I see orders come through, I'll sort of group them in the morning and I'll go through them and I will just do a customer care, you know, a thank you so much for order. I really appreciate it. Text them, now that I'm in your phone, make sure that you, make sure that you add me in as Pampered Chef Anna. So if you ever need me, So I do that just when the order comes through. What I've been doing and starting to do in my shows is something that Cami Cruz, I think, had said she does. But I think my parties, like, you know, pre-party Saturday, Sunday, and then it goes Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. I think Tuesday I go through and friend request everybody that's in the party that sort of has, you know, been active and responding. And then what I do on Wednesday is I was sending a like a full service kind of message, like, did you have fun? I'm so glad you were here and you were so engaged. You know, have you had fun at the party? You know, and try to start a conversation like that. So that's what and again, it's different because you're not face to face. I would love, does anybody else who does do a lot of virtuals, like Patty or somebody else on here? Carol, have you done yours? Because you've done quite a few lately as well. Does anybody else have any other thoughts? Brady, how are you doing yours? If anybody can unmute.
There we go. So I've struggled with it too a little bit, just as I'm trying to figure out what works and what people are receptive to. I was kind of hesitant to send friend requests to people after just really initiating those conversations. Have you had good response from that?
Well, the reason why she was saying, and I've done that in the past, was because sometimes if we just put a message request in and you're not friends with them, how they might not see it. Right. But she said that she thinks that it sort of jogs them to see it, you know, like sort of alerts them like that they might see it better. So I don't know if I don't know if it necessarily has been a bad thing to do, but I know that Stephen Josephs, he will go through then, and I've done this a little bit too, is also gone in under where they've commented somewhere and said, hey Grady, check your personal messages because I just, your requests in your, what is it, message request in your inbox, because I just sent you a message, and tagging them to try to, so you could do that as well, because that's the issue, is trying to get them to see the message.
Right. And then the other thing that I've struggled a little bit with is kind of, focusing on the 222, which doesn't line up with then having the full service checkout right at the end of a virtual party. So
right.
It's really, there's a couple different systems that are being proposed here, and they don't really all work together.
Right,
so,
right. Like I said, I've been trying to, within the party and on Facebook now, doing that, trying to get the bookings, the full service checkout. We're talking about the business and stuff, and then doing the 222 part. Again, I've always kept, like when I get an email, I just had a few today, some orders that came through, like I see them come through, I'm going to text them right from my email. Before I delete it out of my email, that's sort of on my to-do, I go through and I text them that message. Like I said, it's a customer care. Thank you so much. Make sure you put my number in right now so that if you need me, you can sort of do. So that's what I've been doing for the customer care part. The rest of them, it's just trying to get them to do that within to do it. I'm just looking. So Katrina, on the third question, do you ask both questions or either one? Probably either one, I would. I always post in the party that if they ordered, to make sure they check their messages, because I sent you one. I do that for a thank you order. Yeah, I will, send them a private message. Yeah. So you're right, Brady. I was doing them both at the same time, those two different things, and I didn't like it. So I've sort of changed it now.
Anna, one thing I do that I've found I'm getting more feedback, I guess, with is like, so during the party there's a post about the host specials, of course, and so you ask them which one they would choose, and so for that I go back and I private message them, or I message them in the party. It doesn't really matter. What if I told you could get it for free or half price? That kind of thing. And then when I do the Q&A, and somebody's asking some really good questions, I do private message them, and that's where I say, you've asked some really great questions. Have you ever thought about trying this?
Yeah.
And so, and I've gotten some great feedback. I haven't yet got a recruit, but I've got some great leads.
Yeah, absolutely. If anything, planted seeds and stuff. But I think that, that's it's just a way. I mean, that's just the issue with the virtual, is trying to get them to respond, I guess, is what when you're standing face to face with somebody at a cooking show, you ask them a question, they're going to answer you for the most part. But, it's just virtual to be able to get into that conversation, to do that back and forth with them. But yes, so it's just coming up with a system of that, I think. All right, any other questions here? Yes, Katrina, I agree with that too. One question at a time, and then ask, or else it's too much. I agree. And then you can also make it more personal too when you ask one question, right? Because then you can, respond to that one question, and when you go back with it as well. Okay, so let's look at homework. So we're going to continue the Miracle Morning routine. Fill in your monthly trackers. We're starting our March parties so we can put our numbers and stuff. Here's what I'm going to do. We're bumping it up. 25 two-way convos this week. We're bumping it up, but I will include those go for no's about the business opportunity as part of your 25. Okay? So 25, but, and so whatever. So, they can be go for no's as well. But here's the other thing, is that your other goal is to add 4 bookings to your calendar this week. And that can, and not for this week, and that can be from active parties. So that's not just from your out and about. So that can be from your parties that you've got going on, which remember, we're not through till we get 2. So those bookings that you've got going, those parties, we want to be getting, that's another part of this. Not only do we want to fill, but we want to make sure the parties that you've worked really hard for, that you're getting bookings out of this. So we don't have to keep doing this binge booking, right? No more binge booking, Bobby. Binge booking, Bobby. Bobby does not binge book. You don't, I know, but it's sort of B. No, they don't have to hold this month, but you have your goal of having 6 for this month. So no, you don't have to have 4 more for this month, but if you don't have 6 for this month, then you probably want to book 4 for this month. Okay. And I'll post too, when it comes to the booking, I have a little bit of words that I used for a couple shows this week that I was filling in because I'm trying to beef up my virtual, just really trying to put them in a little bit more. I've got them spaced out, but I wanted to have a few more. And so I had just a really quick little thing that I was sending to some friends. And it was I'm trying a couple new things. I thought of you. I would love for you, would you be interested in being one of my hosts that I could sort of try this out on? And I literally had a friend of mine go, sure, thanks for thinking of me. I asked her to book a party and she said, sure, thank you for thinking of me. So wasn't that nice? I was like, okay, thank you, but okay. So I'll give you guys that verbiage if you thought that would. I mean, how many times has somebody asked thank you for asking them to host the party? I don't know. So she's my favorite one now. But so I will give you that verbiage if you guys want to use it as well, that I was just sort of putting out for messages, because we are sort of doing things a little bit different too, so we've talked about a bunch of different systems. So you could really say, and you guys have listened to a bunch of, you're adding, I know some of your recruiting stuff new in your virtuals and stuff too. So it's very, that you could say, yeah, I'm doing something a little bit new. Would you be one of my first things? So, okay. Oh, good. So Bobby has that thing. Good. All right, good. So we'll post stuff. Thank you guys so much. Let's just keep this going. I will put this homework slide up so you guys can take a look. If there's any other slides that you need me to, but I'll also put my verbiage up so you can do that too. You guys got this. This is the month. I feel it. I feel it. All right. Good. Thank you guys. Have a great week. Go shovel before it starts raining, and then we'll talk. This week. Next week, we'll be on call 10, okay? Do your homework early this week. Some of you guys are killing me with that. I love you, though. Have a great night, guys. Thank you.